Don't wait till the battle's over. Don't wait till the struggle ends. Shout now, shout now, right now. Shout now, shout now. Don't wait till you make it.
Hey everyone, this is Philip and welcome to the show. We are so excited to see that you're here. I'm going to grab my coffee. Oh, this one is from Colombia. Whereabouts in Colombia? No. Hold on. So I'm excited today, and I'm not going to take up too much time to do all the formalities. We have an amazing guest for you today who has an incredible journey, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. So just get ready, mute everything, so you're just ready to go and just listening to this. So in the studio today, we have Mariah Freeman. And she is a wife, a mother, an author, a kingdom entrepreneur, and an addiction survivor. Her book, From Heroin to Heaven, is a journaled account of instances in her life which invites the reader on a journey into a world that was not only shattered, but also restored. The pages of this transformative book hold the raw and honest collection of entries from an addicted bipolar mind who finds the way out once and for all. Now, as a kingdom entrepreneur, Mariah Freeman invites those who are ready to start their journey towards freedom and wellness. Freeman's and frankincense, serving with wisdom and compassion, those seeking to better their physical and spiritual well-being. So please join me in welcoming the free woman, Mariah Freeman. Hey, Mariah. Oh my goodness. It's so good to have you here. How are you doing?
It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun. I'm so glad to be here. I'm doing well. You know, it's Saturday. It's Saturday, right? Saturday morning. So I'm just kind of getting my weekend bearings going, but doing good.
Well, good. And you're right now. Tell us. Okay, so you're a mother. How many children do you have?
We have 3, and we have 1 more on the way.
Wow. So you are busy.
Very busy, yes. And I'm a blessed stay-at-home mom, so I'm grateful that I can be home. I don't have to rush out the door. I don't know how mamas do that. I give them props because I can barely, keep it going, keep it together, just being at home.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having to rush all over and it's hard, but it's blessed. It's a very, very rewarding, blessed job. So.
Well, that's I can imagine. So I won't take up too much of your time because I know some of the little ones might run in and they'll get their cameo on TV. But listen, I want to just jump right in, and I want to start with this amazing book. And let's start our journey there. You wrote a book called From Heroin to Heaven. Why did you find the need to write this book?
Well, I mean, it all started. Because I became a heroin addict. And so, overcoming that battle, that mountain, if you get to the other side, because we all know not many get there, right?
Right.
I know so many people, many people who have passed away because of addiction. It is serious. It is an epidemic.
Yeah.
And so I just felt such a need to give others hope and inspiration and encouragement. And hey, I was there too. It's possible to get to the other side.
Yeah. In your book, this book is really powerful because it's an honest and raw account. I mean, it reminds me of a journal a lot. It's a raw account of what you went through. And I just want to read one particular passage that just hit me. And for the readers, for the viewers, again, this is From Heroin to Heaven. And you can find it on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and what have you. So I'm going to read from page 59. And this just hit me. And I have a follow-up question. It says, I'm going to start in the middle of the story. It says, the very next night that I was released from the hospital, I bought a bottle of Tylenol PM and 2 candles. I went into my room after spending the afternoon smoking blunt after blunt of marijuana. I didn't write a note, although it crossed my mind that maybe I should let my family know why I was killing myself. But I didn't. They were better off without me. I asked God, please take my soul. I laid on the bed and swallowed the whole bottle of Tylenol PM. I forgot to light the candles that I bought for a calm ambiance to bring me into death's arms. My mom came down to my room at about 2 a.m. She said she had a feeling. She said I was standing there with my pants wet. I had urinated on myself. I think it's interesting that I was standing. Someone stood me up so I wouldn't choke on my vomit. I realize now it could have only have been Jesus. She took me upstairs and I started tripping out and talking to people that weren't there, hearing things and projecting vomit. Apparently, I was violently ill for a long time. My mom and dad had to take care of me like I was a baby. Urinating and vomiting on myself all over the place. Yes, it's glamorous being a suicidal addict. I finally came to consciousness days later, and my mom was sitting right next to me on my bed. I remember asking her, I didn't die? No, sweetheart, you didn't. You're alive. That is so powerful and layered with so many things. So when you were younger, you came from a loving Christian home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
how did you get from that to the point where, you wanted to take your own life?
Right. And like you said, I think it's layered. I think there's layers. Slowly we stopped kind of going to church and believing in God. I stopped, coming to God with my problems and stopped, just acknowledging him. I was very concerned with, all my friends. I had a lot of friends. And so I was very concerned with, having fun, being at all the parties, being popular, doing what I wanted. And then I also, around puberty time was when I started to really have like this, it's almost like it was just this huge dark cloud came over me and just took over my mind, and to where I just self-loathing. I hated myself. I thought I was disgusting, ugly, fat. I got, eating disorders. I started cutting myself. Being promiscuous, started just acting out in so many ways. And, it was in layers. It was, I fell away from God, family issues began, started to run away from home, peer pressures, and then the self-hatred, which was, as I went into hospital after hospital, they would keep diagnosing me with mental illness. And so that's where I think you can kind of get in the two different realms here. Is it a physical mental illness, or is it a spiritual possession or oppression?
Yeah. So as you continue to move forward, you had a dramatic turn and you started to turn your life around. Clearly you did. And I'm so excited that you did, because now your story and your journey is helping so many people. But at what point were you just saying, enough is enough? Because I'm sure that there are people out there that are looking for hope, that are looking, and even struggling through addiction. I know that there are points where people are that they're just like, I know I need help. I know I need to do this. I don't like it. I hate it, but I can't move forward. What do I do? What point did you just say, enough?
Yeah. Well, the breaking point for me, and everybody's breaking point is different, but the breaking point for me was when I had gotten into prostitution. So I got into prostitution about the age of 18 and was into that for some years. So I was about 24 when I had enough, age 24. So, and that's considered pretty young still, but at that point I felt like I was 150 years old at age 24. But at that point, the breaking point was when I was on a job and John was going to purchase me, and he just looked at me and he just was like, I'm not paying for this. And, he was talking about me because I was so nasty. And it was just the place where I was like in a garage with, it was just a mattress on the floor, a cement floor. I mean, it was just you know, at that point it was just like, man, I can't even prostitute myself. Like, okay, this is it. Like that was the breaking point for me. And I had a lot of points throughout my, life and addiction where it would seem like that would be the end, with the suicide attempts and different, arrests, and things like that, overdoses. And, but that one was the one that broke me.
Wow. I can't imagine being in that situation where you come to that point where it's just like, wow, even in this particular situation, I'm just like, I'm useless,
Yeah.
And that's, you mentioned in your book that addiction is an escape, and the thought of the escape letting you down, like that is like mountains and boulders of weight. Like I use this place as an escape. I use these things as an escape, and now I can't even escape to my escape.
Can't even do it. And listen, that's just one example. My veins all blue. So I would be for hours trying to shoot up, trying to escape for hours and hours and hours, and just obsess and try to find veins. I tried to shoot in a vein up here in my forehead. I've tried all my veins, and still to this day, what am I, 11, 12 years sober? Still to this day, I have veins that aren't back. So that's just one example of how frustrating addiction, that vicious cycle, vicious.
Wow. So you said you have 11 years sober. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Congratulations. That is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So how did you do it?
Well, I think, you talk a lot about identity, and I think, for me, that was a huge part of it. When we know our identity, we know our destiny. We know our purpose, right? If we don't know our identity, we have no clue what our destiny is, no clue what our purpose is. Why am I here? I don't know. So that was a huge piece. And so finding my identity came when I found out who God was, more specifically who Jesus was, why I was created. It was only at that point, when I came to realize who he was, once I learned all about him, who he was, what he did, why he created me, that I discovered, okay, my purpose is to love God and love others. That's my purpose, and my destiny is heaven. From heaven to heaven, our destiny is heaven. Our purpose, love God, love others.
Yeah.
There's your identity,
Yeah. So when you jumped into understanding who you were, clearly there was a purpose on your life with all the attempts that you made for suicide. You said cutting, prostitution, all of these things, even though a lot of people have done less and have passed away, you have the story of so many things, and now it's transformed into like a ministry and you helping other people find their way.
Yeah.
I know your book From Heroin to Heaven has been used by a lot of recovery programs, both I want to say both Christian based and maybe some non, to help people see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Just really quickly, for those people who may be struggling, but they may not believe, they may not have a Christian background, they may not understand. What is a good step for them to take to find their identity? How do they do that if there is some doubt?
I think the first step is admitting that you don't know.
Nah, come on now. I'm gonna have to
Let it settle. Too many people walking around.
Don't play yourself in the new year.
Don't play yourself in the new year. Come on. Yes, too many people walking around, thinking they had it all together. I mean, even in my addiction and stuff, my pride was just like, I just was so hard, so prideful, so rebellious, so unwilling to admit that I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first step for Christians or non-Christians, and I wasn't a Christian when I got to that point. I wasn't. When I finally was like surrendered at that breaking point, I wasn't a Christian. I was desperate, desperate. And I was finally came to that place of humble surrender.
Right. Humble surrender. You know, what's interesting is a lot of times, you know, when we start off our journey in addiction, we don't know, you know, but we pursue it with such vigor. We pursue that escape with such passion. And I think the same could be said if you reach that point where you just like, I don't know what to do anymore. I know I want something. I want to heal. I want to resolve. I want my life either back or made anew, going to it with the same passion. And be okay with saying, I don't know. But what I do know is I don't want this.
Yes,
Being open to hear from people such as yourself that have gone through the journey, that have these years, that have these stories of, you know, being sober and coming through the battle, coming out on the other side, and listening to those stories. You know, there's a phrase that is like, don't recreate the wheel. You know, it's like, don't recreate the wheel.
Right, and I like what you said about taking that same passion and drive that you had for addiction, when you take it to getting free. Man, if people would only know, you know, the adventure, the fun, the freedom, the, you know, ecstasy, you know, that happens when we use that same passion drive, you know, that we had for our addiction, and we use it for good. You know, then you end up speaking all over the place, sharing your story, going to several countries in Africa, dancing in Africa. You write a book. You get married to an amazing man, and you have kids, and you know, it's just, you don't know what the good that can happen when you put that same drive that you put into your addiction into the other side.
Absolutely. And for those of you who don't know, the person that she was describing was herself. She's been to those continents. She's danced in Africa. She's taught before. She has the book. She has the husband. She has the kids. So these are the things that come into your life, the positive things that come into your life once you make a decision to change. And I think one of the biggest phrases that I found in my life is saying, I decided. Something always takes a decision, either for good or for bad. But at the end of the day, how did you I decided.
That's it.
That I'm going to look for something different. I decided to be open. I decided that I don't want to go back. I decided, you know, and a lot of times it's that decision-making process that will change our lives.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
So you're not only an author, you're not only intercontinental dancing sensation and speaker. You're not only a wife, but you've started a new venture as well, Freeman's and Frankincense.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What is that? What's going on?
Super fun thing that kind of goes into all of what I kind of do, is just helping people physically, emotionally, and spiritually to find that peace, that wholeness. And so this is just another piece of that puzzle there, and I get to do that from home, which is another blessing. And the reason I got into that, you know, was because when I was pregnant with Nova, our oldest daughter, who's about to be 6, when I was pregnant with her, I started to really question and kind of research the kind of things that were being recommended to me as a mother with being pregnant, and things that were being recommended to her for her health. And I kind of just started to question and research. And I, you know, when I set my mind to something, I do it, I figure it out. And so that began my journey of really studying and figuring out what would be the best, safest, natural healthcare, so to speak, for our family. And so, you know, with Young Living, I found that, you know, the oils, they are amazing. You can look them up in the research journals, the medical journals and all of that, and you can see they're pretty powerful, they're effective, they're safe. And so that is kind of why I got into that, was because I wanted something to use as like a daily health regimen that would be safe, effective, natural. So that's why. And so, now it's grown, and I've got, a lot of people that I help with that. And it's just been such a blessing to see people's lives, not only our lives being changed and getting healthier, but to be able to help others, get healthy in a safe, natural way.
Do you think that your background with using chemicals and things that were bad for your body helped to inform your decisions about going the opposite way and looking for natural remedies and healing and wellness? Do you think that had something to do with kind of your direction?
Yeah, I think so, because I would always be so frustrated back in the day, in and out of all the hospitals and rehabs and psych wards. They would pump me full of these pills and these things that made me a zombie. I'd be drooling. Half my mind would be kind of gone, hallucinate, all these horrible things that happen, when, and they're trying to help you, that they're just doing what they, were taught to do. And they're trying to help you get off of drugs, but they're giving you other drugs that they're not really safe. And they're not really effective. They come with a slew of other side effects that, then you need another pill for that side effect. It just gets overwhelming, and it's frustrating because it wasn't working. None of those things, and I still am dealing with some health issues to this day. I did a lot of damage to my body, my liver specifically. And so I'm still dealing with some health issues, and I'm still healing, but I wasn't finding that healing. I wasn't finding answers, going the traditional medical modern route.
Yeah, well, it's awesome that now you have a platform to, number one, to share with other people that may be looking for wellness and healing. From what I've seen of it, it's a total journey. It's like a total journey because of your ministry, if you don't mind me using it that way. Because of your ministry, it's not just about oils. It's really about the person and their particular journey, and it kind of branches out into your entire life. It's a way of life. That's what it is. It's not just, hey, these oils smell good, I want to calm down right now. It's a whole,
which it does that too, but
but it's a whole life routine, and that is just wonderful. I want to ask you one more thing. You have an amazing, I want to say it's a 4-part series, and it's called Break Free from the Cycle of Addiction. What is that, and how can people find that?
That is on YouTube. It's on my Instagram profile. You could just click the link and sign right up for it. And it is basically, I think it's on my Facebook too, but it's basically just a 4-part series, video series, very brief, like about 5 minutes each, where I kind of just help you figure some things out, where you need to be at, what's one step you can take today towards breaking that cycle.
I love it. I think that is a very non-intrusive and easy way for somebody who's ready to make that decision, but not able to completely commit, because I know that you went to the Walter Holding Home, and that's a 12-month process. And, sometimes that's a little bit off-putting to people in their lives. Like, I don't want to. But today, you can decide to take the first step with this 4-part series, break free from addiction and from the cycle of addiction. And I love that.
Yes.
There's also something else. So for you out there who is loving the journey and who loves the story of redemption and freedom, because that's what there is hope and there is freedom from addiction. Mariah, you have your book, and you were telling me earlier that you would give a signed copy
Mm-hmm.
How
Yep.
Yeah. So you all can get a signed copy of Mariah Freeman's book, From Heroin to Heaven, and let them know how they can find that.
Well, they can just email me, sinnersaved@live.com. Just email me, and I'll give you more details about that. It's basically when you're ready to, start your wellness journey, then I'll send you a signed copy of that right away.
That is awesome. So again, this goes to the total person and the total journey. Not only are you going to be able to start on your wellness journey with the oils, with the community and the support of Kingdom Entrepreneur Mariah Freeman, but you'll also have basically a life journal from shattered to now restored of the lessons and the life of Mariah and the challenges that she went through. And it's truly tremendous.
Oh, and you know what? I don't think you mentioned who did the cover of that book there.
I did not mention that.
I didn't hear that.
No.
The multi-talented Phillip.
So if you don't know, now you know. So this book, Mariah was so generous, and she allowed me to do a proof of the cover, and she chose it for her book. So not only will you be getting the book, but you'll get my design. Yeah. So I was, it's these kinds of projects that make all of our talents worth it. It makes us, when you walk in your purpose, you give people the opportunity that you come in contact with to shine and to walk in their purpose as well.
Exactly.
And it's a ripple effect. When you walk in freedom, as Mariah, as you're doing, you give people the courage, the opportunity, and the voice to decide to also walk in that freedom, because they can now see that it's possible.
Amen.
And once we see that something is possible, it's so much easier to go after it because it's tangible. You did it. Now I can do it.
Exactly.
You did it. Now I can do it. Okay, so Mariah, what is you got all this stuff. What is next for you?
Yeah. Probably just maintaining it all.
Yeah.
Probably maintaining it all. Growing in our family. Preparing for another one. Just kind of really enjoying this place where we're at right now. Just taking time to really rest and enjoy, where we're at and maintaining. Yeah. Wow.
Well, that's good. Well, yeah. Continue to maintain. You look wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, I'm very excited. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share the links that you shared with us. I know that they're on the screen, but I'm going to put them in the description for everybody that's at home. If you are interested in taking advantage of this free autographed copy and starting your journey, not only to freedom, but to wellness, both body, mind, spiritual, that will be available for you too. You can reach out to Mariah. She is more than willing to walk with you. She has her 4-part series. Once again, the name of the series is Break Free from the Cycle of Addiction. If you or somebody that you know suffers from a life-controlling issue such as drug dependency, alcoholism, whatever it is, Mariah is here as a testimony, and I am here as a spokesperson to let you know that there is hope. Make the decision today to decide to change your life. It is well worth it. And if you need more proof, just replay this video, because Mariah is here giving you a living, breathing testimony of what can happen when you find your purpose and you let God be the captain of the ship of your life. So, Mariah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It was so much fun. Thank you, guys.
So everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you were encouraged and inspired by Mariah's story. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me here at the PHILLIP Show. I am more than happy to assist. Make sure that you're bold, be proud, and be you. And no matter what you're going through, there is hope. Decide today. And remember, you are the best you in the world. All right? I'll see you later. Bye.
Don't